I never thought my love story would be the kind of thing you'd see on the front page of Reddit. Honestly, if you had told me 5 years ago that I would meet the love of my life through one of the darkest and most chaotic chapters of my family's history, I would have laughed in your face. But life, as I've learned, has a way of throwing twists at you. Some painful, some shocking, and some so unexpected that they change the entire direction of your life. Let me take you back to where it all began. The collapse of my world. When I was 25, my world fell apart. My father, the man I had always looked up to as strong, loyal, and honorable, was exposed for having a double life. He had been cheating on my mom with another woman for years, and none of us had a clue. He had a second apartment in the city, and he'd been funneling money into maintaining this entire secret. The truth came out in the ugliest way. My mom found suspicious bank statements, hired a private investigator, and everything blew up. It wasn't just an affair, it was betrayal on a level I couldn't comprehend. My mom filed for divorce, my younger brother cut ties with my dad, and I felt like the foundation of our family had crumbled overnight. The divorce proceedings were messy, public, and humiliating. To make matters worse, the other woman wasn't just some stranger. She had once been my mom's friend, someone who had been around our house during cookouts and holidays. The betrayal ran so deep it made me physically sick. During this period, I moved back home temporarily to help my mom cope. I was juggling my own full-time job, trying to keep my younger brother from spiraling, and picking up the pieces of my mom's shattered heart. It was chaos, pure and simple. And that's when he came into the picture. The unexpected arrival. His name was Alex. He was the son of the lawyer my mom had hired for the divorce. At first, I only saw him in passing, bringing coffee to his dad's office, dropping off papers, or helping around with errands. He was 27, a little older than me, tall with dark eyes and this calm energy that contrasted sharply with the storm I was living in. I didn't pay much attention to him at first. Honestly, I was too consumed with anger, grief, and exhaustion. My trust in men had been obliterated by my dad's betrayal. But then one night, when my mom had an emotional breakdown after finding out my dad had used their anniversary money to pay rent on his secret apartment, I stormed out of the house just to breathe. I ended up outside the lawyer's office because it was walking distance. And there was Alex, locking up. He recognized me immediately and asked if I was okay. That small question was all it took. I broke down. Tears, sobs, the whole ugly mess. He didn't push, didn't pry. He just listened. And that night was the first time in months I felt a sliver of relief, like someone actually saw me beyond the chaos. The slow burn. After that, Alex and I began talking more. At first, it was innocent. Small chats when I stopped by the office, little check-ins over text when he knew court hearings were coming up. He wasn't trying to fix me, which I appreciated. He wasn't offering empty cliches like, time heals all wounds. He just let me vent, and he offered presence. Over time, I realized I was looking forward to our conversations more and more. We'd stay up late texting about music, movies, and random life stuff. One night, he admitted he had been hesitant to talk to me because he didn't want to seem like he was taking advantage of my family's situation. That honesty struck me. It showed me he respected boundaries, which was something I desperately needed. The first time he asked me out for coffee, I almost said no. I was terrified. Terrified of falling for someone when my trust was shredded. Terrified of dragging another person into the mess of my family. But something inside me whispered, why not? That coffee date turned into a 3-hour conversation about everything from childhood memories to the kind of lives we wanted to build. And when he walked me back to my car, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. The complications. Of course, life doesn't hand out love stories without complications. My mom was wary at first when she realized I was seeing Alex. She worried it was too close to home, since his father was her lawyer. My brother teased me relentlessly, calling it a soap opera in real life. And my dad? When he found out, he exploded. He called me manipulative, said I was using Alex to get revenge on him, accused me of sleeping with the enemy. That hurt, but it also solidified my resolve. My dad's betrayal had cost me enough. He wasn't going to control my happiness too. 4 months, Alex and I kept our relationship quiet, letting it develop slowly without outside pressure. He was patient with me, always checking in, never pushing for more than I was ready to give. When we finally went public, I braced for drama. But to my surprise, most of our friends and extended family were supportive. They could see how happy he made me. The turning point. 1 year into our relationship, I hit a breaking point. Despite being in love, I was still carrying so much anger toward my dad. It was poisoning me. I'd have panic attacks whenever I heard his name, and I'd lash out at Alex for small things just because I was terrified of betrayal repeating itself. One night, after I accused Alex of hiding something, just because he was quiet, he sat me down and said, "I am not your father, and I'm not going to punish you for the damage he caused. But you need to let me in. If you can't, then we can't build a future together." It was a wake-up call. I realized I couldn't fully love Alex until I confronted my pain. So I went to therapy. I started journaling, facing my trust issues head-on. Alex never wavered during that process. He held my hand when I cried, gave me space when I needed it, and celebrated every small step forward. The proposal. 2 years after our first coffee date, Alex proposed. And he did it in the most beautifully ironic way possible, outside the courthouse where my parents' divorce had been finalized. He got down on one knee and said, "This place marked the end of something broken. I wanted to also mark the beginning of something unbreakable." I cried so hard I could barely say yes. But I did. Where we are now. It's been 5 years since that night. Alex and I are married with a little daughter who has his dark eyes and my stubbornness. My relationship with my dad is still complicated. We're slowly rebuilding, but it will never be the same. And that's okay, because out of one of the worst betrayals I've ever experienced came the most unexpected gift, the kind of love I didn't believe existed anymore. Our story isn't perfect. It's messy, unconventional, and born from heartbreak. But maybe that's what makes it real. And if there's anything I've learned, it's this. Sometimes love doesn't come when life is perfect. Sometimes it shows up in the ruins, in the wreckage, when you least expect it. And that's when it's strongest.